This audio is brought to you by Muslim Central. Please consider donating to help cover our running costs and future projects by visiting www.muslimcentral.com/donate.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wa sallallahu sallam wa barak ala nabina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ya akhwati, a man once came to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it's an authentic hadith in Bukhari, and said, Ya Rasulullah, how can I be your companion in Jannah? How can I be your companion in Jannah? In one authentic narration he said, Ya Rasulullah, make dua to Allah that I be your companion in Jannah. So Rasulullah ﷺ said, لَقَدْ سَأَلْتَ عَنْ عَظِيمٍ. You have asked about a very, very tremendous thing. And first to enter Jannah is so difficult. And on top of that, to actually be my companion in Jannah, ya salam, that is amazing. So you have asked about a very tremendous thing. So listen to what he said. He said, A'inni, help me with the acceptance of my dua. Help me with kathrat as-sujud, with a lot of prostrations. The scholars of Islam said upon this hadith, an explanation of this hadith, is that the one thing that is the difference between those people who achieve the higher levels in the Jannah and those that do not even reach Jannah, the one thing that is the difference is the number of prostrations that they've done on this dunya, is the number of sujood that they have done to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because nothing can compare to the sujood. Sujood is where you come closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yani you are closer to Allah, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's dhat is closer to you. And this is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Kalla la tuti'hu wasjud waqtarib. Rather, no, nay, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, do not obey them and prostrate and come closer to me. Come closer to me. Meaning that when you prostrate to Allah Azza wa Jal, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does come close to you. And as a result, think about it, guys. If you have a lot of children, the ones that are farther away, you don't pay that much more attention to the ones that are near you. So if that is just the example that we have of this dunya, can you imagine the example of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with His billions and trillions of creation around Him? The ones that are closer to Him are the ones that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will pay a lot more attention to. It is for this reason why, ikhwani, the one single thing that will be the difference between us achieving Jannah and a higher level of Jannah, or not even that at all, is the number of sujood we have done in this dunya. So my brothers and sisters in Islam, it is for this reason why the special thing about Laylatul Qadr is about sujood. Man qama Laylatul Qadri imanan wa ihtisaban ghufira lahu ma taqaddama min dhanbi. According to authentic hadith, whoever stands up the night of power, right, meaning in salah, right, in salah, meaning that is the best deed to do in the night in which all your deeds are multiplied. It is not umrah as some people have made up, or slaughtering a sheep as others have made up, so that if you slaughter a sheep, there's as if you've slaughtered a sheep for the next 1,000 months or something. No. It's salah. That is the one thing that is the way that you should spend that night of Laylatul Qadr, meaning that is the one to actually come closer to Allah Azza wa Jal through. In the authentic hadith, in the narration about Thabit al-Bunani, it was reported. Thabit al-Bunani, one of the Sahaba, of course, there was also a pious predecessor by the name of Thabit al-Bunani. And al-Dhahabi rahimahullah reports about Thabit al-Bunani that this man used to love to prostrate to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala all the time. In fact, whenever there was an opportunity, he would be praying. Yeah, it's like, I've got 15 minutes, What would we do? 15 minutes here, let's go grab a drink of water, let's sit down, let's have a coffee. No, Thabit al-Bunani, Allahu Akbar, he would pray. Whenever he was going somewhere, he would pray. He was on his camel, going from somewhere to somewhere, he would pray. In fact, he would go from the house to the market on his camel, and he would pray. It was not known that Thabit al-Bunani would actually miss any, free time that he had, except that he would pray. It was reported that Thabit al-Bunani loved his salah so much that he made a dua to Allah. Yeah, and al-Dhahabi reports it in his Sir Alam al-Nubala. He says, قال Thabit, he said, Thabit said, "Oh Allah, if there is anyone that you will allow to pray in his grave, then let it be me." And it was reported that some of the pious predecessors, they saw him in his dream, and he saw that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had allowed him to pray in his grave. So ikhwani, fall in love with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through your salah. It may be difficult. It may be that you're unfit. It may be that your legs hurt you. It may be that, the sweetness of salah has yet to come to you. But you have to struggle with something in order to fall in love with it. You have to do it a lot more in order to fall in love with it. Start with your sunnah salahs. Yeah? Start with your sunnah prayers. And we know the authentic hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, where Salama said that ever since I heard the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, whoever prays 12 rak'ah, other than the 17 that are obligatory on us, the 12 that are sunnah upon us, which is the 2 with fajr, and then 4 before dhuhr, and then 2 after dhuhr, and then thereafter 2 after maghrib, and then 2 after isha, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will build for him or her a palace in Jannah. And the authentic narration is reported, Salama said, ever since I heard of this, I have never ever left my sunnah prayers. Yeah, it was reported that in the authentic hadith in Muslim and others, the Prophet ﷺ came to Bilal and said, Ya Bilal, I have heard your footsteps in front of me in Jannah. So the scholars of tafsir of hadith or shar of hadith, they said in front of him, meaning that Bilal was doing some deed that was better than some of the things that the Prophet ﷺ was doing in that particular action. Okay, in that particular action. What was it? And that's why the Prophet ﷺ went and asked, Ya Bilal, what is it? Meaning the Prophet ﷺ himself wanted to gain knowledge. What was it? Not that Bilal was inventing a new sunnah. No, Bilal was simply using it as a means to remember to do good. Just like, for example, we might keep a sticker in the car. Every time we sit in the car, we see the sticker says, Udhkurullah, remember Allah. So every time we go in the car, we remember Allah. Does that make sense? So Bilal used to use opportunities, actions in his day like this in order to remember Allah. One of them was wudu. If he ever made wudu, his sunnah was always that he would do 2 rakahs right after. And this is what preceded his footsteps before the footsteps of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in that particular dream. This is not to say that Bilal superseded Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam totality. No, in that particular time, at that particular point, the Prophet said that, and that is a specific situation. So what was it? What was it? It was just that he prayed 2 rak'ahs after every single wudu. Ikhwan, is very easy to do. Sometimes for many of us it's because we have to bend down and etc. that might cause us pain. Then do it whilst you're sitting in your car. Then get someone else to ride your car, drive your car, and you be the passenger. And you do your salah. And you don't have to turn towards the Kaaba, you don't have to be facing the Kaaba when you're praying. Just have wudu and say Allahu Akbar and pray. There's nothing wrong with that. Just go forward a bit more for ruku, and then for sujood go a bit more forward than that, and bow your head down and do all the other acts of ibadah just like you normally do it. So Ikhwani, fall in love with your salah once again. Fall in love with your salah once again. It is the one thing that separates us today, this generation, from those that were from the previous generations. That those people, the strongest thing about them was the salah. In the authentic hadith it is reported that the Prophet ﷺ did not have any musibah come on him except that he went to salah. And he did not have any happiness except that he went to salah straight away. Meaning that happiness or sadness, both of them the Prophet ﷺ celebrated through his salah. Through his salah. So this month is a month of salah. If it's not the month of Ramadan or the month of fasting, at the very least it's a month of salah. Remembering Allah Azza wa Jalla through your salah. So my brothers and sisters in Islam, fall in love with your salah once again. And make sure you are of those people who constantly prostrate to Allah Azza wa Jalla. Yeah? And be of those people who come close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and attain the highest levels of Jannah. Just like Thabit al-Bunani used to love his salah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us love our salah. Jazakumullah khair. Wa akhiru da'wana. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.
This audio is brought to you by Muslim Central. Please consider donating to help cover our running costs and future projects by visiting www.muslimcentral.com/donate.